okay, so like I know we joked about this a whole bunch, but for real, let's fucking go kill God.
When have we ever joked about that?
If you go any further, you won't be.
Yeah, listen, that's always the joke with the JRPG. Oh, you're gonna go kill God. You're gonna kill God. No, seriously, let's go kill God.
I mean, like, I for one have been ironically joking about it for the entire LP.
I want you to be our lighthouse.
Lightning, what?
Sarah will need some sort of beacon to help her find her way back here, right? That'll be you. And when you see her, don't forget that smile.
What the fuck ever.
Leave it to me.
I like that we've chosen to end things in the original Lightning costume.
Yeah, I figured that was a nice way to bring everything around. Although I will say something about this outfit does seem wrong. Like, it doesn't fit like it did in 13, and I'm not sure why.
Well, I think that might be a little bit due to the enormous sword and enormous shield that are floating on her body.
But
I think it's possible that this outfit might have been designed around the Blazefire saber.
Yeah, but even if I did use that, it's like I don't know, something about like the proportions and the way it fits on her body just doesn't quite look right, and I'm not sure why.
Maybe it requires the insane polygon count to really work. Casualties of technical limitations.
So, yeah, I don't really know why this section is here, because it is literally just walk directly into this room, and then you're done.
Why bother?
He had a dream of eternity.
It just flips straight to this. There isn't even the transition.
Yeah, why didn't we just go straight from the Mog cutscene to this? But, whatever.
But his dream was shattered. The world faced its death, and he couldn't stop it. Goddess Etra was destroyed, and the nurturing flow of life no longer seeded the world.
Again, we know all this.
But that's when he saw it. The swirling invisible forces that breathed life into the universe. That gave form to raw matter.
the life force that exists in all of us. The goddess took the souls of the dead and made them be reborn. She breathed life into each new generation.
We know!
Yes, but when she was destroyed, that cycle was broken. After that, the world was doomed. So, God decided to do it over.
Kind of presumptuous to talk about yourself in the third person, really.
Build a whole new world. It would be a simple matter for the mighty Bhunivelze. He has the power to shape matter and create any material thing.
But what's in our hearts and souls has no form.
Like, I don't understand. Like, is the implication that God thinks that we don't know it's him in Hope right now?
Someone to help.
I don't know, I can't get a good enough look at his scarf to be certain.
Cast her net into the ocean of life and gather those who were.
Does it have the is it the checker one or is it the original one?
She was God's servant.
Oh, I think it's the checker one.
Not just that.
This lighting makes it really awkward to tell.
Oh-ho, what's
Being a savior
this?
was just the first step. If I could complete my task in the short time I had, then he would know that I could carry out the real mission.
Or is it time for an actual plot twist?
Replace the lost goddess.
So yeah, the whole task of the Savior is actually a big ol' interview for the position of the Goddess of Death.
Return. The new world needs a new
And that's a
goddess.
hell of an application
One who can
process.
restore the cycle of death.
Like, you need to be real sure you've got the
You
right
must
candidate.
become the ruler of chaos, the goddess who takes the souls of the dead.
But yeah,
and places
thanks
them in
Toriyama
the
for writing this so that Lightning literally is due to become a goddess.
Death, all right. But not the one you want.
Possibly not
I'll be
the
the goddess
badass
who
line
kills you.
you intended that to be.
I mean, I guess if she was going to be a goddess of anything, a goddess of death is pretty spot on.
We have extincted several species.
And by several, we mean literally all of them.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, here is the most overwrought name for an area ever devised in all of Final Fantasy. It is the Sanct of Theogenesis in the realm of Cosmogenesis. It's got Genesis in there twice!
So yeah, this is it. This is your last chance to get your shit in order before the final boss. It is, He's not too difficult, but we'll see.
He can be difficult if you want him to be. Let's just say that there is a New Game Plus twist on this. It's not that interesting, but it's definitely this game's like signature challenge, I think, even more than an Error Knight. Yeah, this is definitely a JRPG-ass area.
So, are you ready to behold the actual face of God?
New world born before your very eyes. Millions of human souls yearning for life, ready to be reborn. And yet, the moment of renewed life recedes.
What?
My glorious new world must be destroyed.
Okay, Hope, now you're just being petty.
All that trouble.
It is your doing. You stopped the Sacred One from singing
I appreciate Hope's voice actor's attempts to sound all, like, ethereal and above it all.
What God has created, he can destroy. I shall burn it in an ocean.
Honestly, I think Hope's voice actor actually does a really good job with this scene.
Build the world, the sky, even the people.
Like, of all the characters, Hope does a really kinda pretentious voice really well.
My perfect world. Free.
Maybe.
Knowing only joy.
Like, you know, it's not like I can't see it.
And grudges.
I think in the end it works. I just still find it really funny.
That look like people. Bhunivelze, you're a god, but you could never see into our hearts.
Yes, your souls are opaque to me, but that is precisely why they must be redone. What value can they have if your souls are not known to God?
The first hint of a good question we've had from this guy.
I can't believe that God just killed Hope.
Hope really is dead this time.
Become a vessel for God himself, transcendent and supreme. Rejoice in the light of God's love. I shall descend and inhabit your frail bodies, to read your heart and bring you joy. I shall be a god amongst you, almighty and all-knowing.
Tell me this. You took that body, but what did you do with his soul?
I do not know. Your souls are invisible to me.
I wasn't sure. Not until now. I thought that if you really were trying to save humanity, maybe I should help you, instead of fighting you. But I'm sure now.
You think you can slay God?
The goddess of death can.
Like, she makes a good point, really.
You've made me strong enough.
He kind of should have seen this coming.
You were to be my new goddess, and so I prepared you with many trials. Show me your new powers. Let this be your final trial.
This is gonna be one of those things where he's like, yeah, I wanted to die.
Radiant and shining Lindsay from distant depths come forth.
Hey, remember these guys?
Cause to be born, bow thy head and open your heart to the benediction of God's light. Drink in the light and cleanse your soul. Surrender to the radiance. Divine love eternal.
So, let's fight God.
I'm a fan of his skirt.
Come, the goddess of death.
Yeah, very fashionable.
It's a nifty effect. Anyway, remember this gimmick? Isn't this our favourite gimmick from the entire trilogy?
Oh yeah, well I mean the Doom counter is really a joke. There is, like, you have about double the time that you need to do this.
Yeah, but like, come on though. Like, isn't it, even if it isn't actually a big problem, it's a fuck you in spirit.
So, Bhunivelze himself is really not that difficult. He's, like you said, if you are capable of handling Arrow Knight and Ereshkigal, Bhunivelze himself is pretty much a joke. But at the same time, though, I like this fight because even though he is quite easy, especially if you're properly spec'd for it, it's still, like, you can still get your shit kicked in. Like, this is an incredibly sloppy run on my part, and I will die at least twice during this. And so it's like, you know, it's nice that even despite all that, he can still put up a pretty good threat.
Like any good final boss, it's a test of all the things that you've learned in the game up until now. Like, if you've mastered all the stuff, you can beat him. If you haven't, you're gonna have to compensate with items.
And you know what? That's okay. That's what those things are there for. Like, if you're not gonna burn that elixir at the final boss, when are you going to use it?
Now, there is the small matter of Bhunivelze in New Game Plus that I guess we should probably acknowledge. He goes through some phases during this fight. He cycles through a few gimmicks. Some of them are interesting. Like, these things, as I recall, they stick around for a bit, and then he blows them up, and they really hurt. They're basically bombs. I mean, literally the Final Fantasy enemy bomb. He'll have other gimmicks that he'll go through, but in the traditional version of this fight that we're doing, he goes through one gimmick and then you murder him, he goes to another gimmick and then you murder him, and etc. In the New Game Plus version, he is broadly a lot stronger. He skips his first phase entirely, but gains a shit ton of health, and spends his new first phase cycling between two of his gimmicks.
I mean, in all honesty, I recorded this like a week ago, and I honestly could not tell you much about any particular phase of this fight. They kind of all blend together to me.
Oh, he's got, well, like I said, he's got the one where he brings out the four balls and you have to murder them real fast. And, well, I guess we're going to see what he does in his other one. The point is, he builds up to big attacks, and you really don't want him to do them. So, like the Arrow Knight and Ereshkigal fights, it's a test to see if you can spam damage at an amazing rate. Like, this is basically his super attack.
Yeah, we're gonna see that. Don't you worry. Yeah, this is what not to do, by the way.
Oh yes, this attack is fiercely cancelable, and that's a good thing. You want to hit him out of this. That's what you want.
Yeah, you can see how ludicrously long it gives you to knock him out of this.
Yeah, we're not cancing nearly enough magic. Anyway, do you like Final Fantasy VI references? Because that was one just now. In New Game Plus Bhunivelze, this is a straight KO. At least I think it is. I don't mean like it's a literal, like, doesn't even do damage, you just die. It just does more damage than I think it is possible to tank. and now here come the balls again. That's how this gimmick goes. In the New Game Plus version, when he does the him, if you knock him out of it, or whether he actually does it, I think he cycles to the other gimmick.
Resist no more. Come to your god. A new goddess is born.
Alright, so if the last one was magic-based, this is his physical one, where he starts busting out that scythe a lot more.
Yeah. This is the one where you're going to want to do a lot of really good blocking.
We cannot give up.
Otherwise it's gonna hurt.
This will be your grave.
Really, this one's a little bit more straightforward than his other gimmick. He still does that shit though.
Yeah, but again, that shit is all magic damage. Let's see. Actually, I think that's physical because that's what I have. That's what I'm set up to block. So, like, despite the fact that it's a giant laser, that's all physical damage. So, if you have a protect potion, it's a good time to use it.
But yeah, as always, it's a Final Fantasy 13 capstone fight. Get stagger, deal damage. Mind the Ultima.
Yeah, the Ultima's kind of a joke compared to the other things that he can do.
Stronger than this.
But yeah, the other thing about the New Game Plus version of the fight is that it does require a lot more perfect, and I do mean perfect, guarding of stuff. And this is one of the cases where it's actually really reasonable, because you're kind of supposed to practice this fight. Go and you do it, and you can fight him whenever you want from the arc. So you can fight him and fight him and fight him and get better.
Yeah, note that he is giving himself super buffs, for lack of a better word. Like the buffs in a diamond instead of a square are ones that can't be
Hexagon. It's a hexagon, Artix.
Yes, that one. But they're the ones that they can't be stolen and they can't be dispelled. So
Yeah. I mean, he's God, he can do what the fuck he wants. It's total bullshit, but there you go. Like I said, this phase is a lot more simplistic.
you know, whatever. He killed me. Who gives a shit?
I do like that it does at least reorder his buffs when he reapplies them. Like it's... yeah.
You dare to raise your sword against God himself? You shall burn in his light.
You tried to
So... Phase 4.
take on humanity. That was your mistake.
In New Game Plus, it's technically Phase 2. Sort of, technically.
I was gonna say, yeah, how does this work? Like, is this still the end of the fight in New Game Plus? Okay.
New Game Plus is a two-phase fight, broadly. So he spends the first phase cycling between two phases, and then he does this, more or less as before.
So, yeah, this phase of the fight is very similar to, like, Final Orphan, in as much as it's more of an annoyance than anything. Like, you know, he has that thing that knocks you down to, like, 2 HP, but realistically, he doesn't do much of anything to actually hurt you here. It's just, you just gotta stagger him and then you win.
And then just Doom has disappeared.
Yeah, Doom disappears after the first stage.
Yeah. Like, what was the point of that? Other than the you know, the fuck you in spirit.
There really isn't one, because it's, like I said, it's only that first very easy part of the fight.
Ah. So yeah, more stuff for you to block. I mean, yeah, he's got some attacks that are threatening. You got to block them. If you don't block them, it's going to be trouble. And you know, the usual New Game Plus stat boosts all apply. This thing is an annoyance that you can learn to deal with. It's like you can block this Heartless Angel. It's just you just got to keep the presence of mind to do it, and I think you have to not be in the air. I can't remember if you can block in the air or not.
That sounds right. I don't think you can block that in the air.
Anyway, here come out the big attacks because he's like super staggered.
So, yeah. That's Bhunivelze. And that is Lightning Returns.
Thanks for playing. I don't think he appreciates being killed.
The light so brilliant, brighter than gods.
I really like the fact that we're still doing this with Caius's stupid Soul Edge ass sword.
I find it fitting. But you know, that's not the most fitting weapon to do this with.
There's no place for you there.
Salt is a new experience to God. Didn't we try this once before?
I was gonna say, isn't this exactly what our plan is to begin with?
Chaos. Someone has to take Etro's place and protect the cycle of life. That someone is going to be me. But before I do, I'm going to take you into the chaos with me.
Is that your last resort? Your final desperate point? Do you think you can survive me? The power of divine light is mine!
It's too late for that. You have the power of a god, but you have the power of a human inside you as well. And now that human is going to destroy you.
You'll notice that we've discarded our sword.
From the death of a god, I bring you salvation.
Also note that she's using basically holy.
I was gonna say, I think that's actually literally last resort. Isn't that Hope's?
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the knife! It slumbered for 1,000 years after being given to Lightning in the worst birthday present ever. And it's finally served its purpose. Thanks, Sarah. Or Snow, whichever one of you it was.
Lightning.
Go.
So yeah, this is where things start getting weird. Because, like, that's clearly still fake Hope's model,
It's a new world.
but at this point, we are dealing with real Hope.
And it's waiting for
Mums
you
are
to
tough.
be born again.
But yeah. Like, how hard could it have been to swap the model out here?
I can't see you.
Like, this is where you should have had 13-2 Hope.
What's going to happen to you?
No. You can't turn back or you'll never leave. I have to.
Anyway, I see we're kind of sort of reenacting the ending to Final Fantasy VIII here.